Let's start off with the Cotton Bowl. It comes up first, rotation number. We got a 4 p.m. Eastern kick on ESPN. The Cotton Bowl there in Fort Worth, Dallas area. Notre Dame, Clemson, 55 the total. Clemson laying 11 and a half right now on SBR odds, pretty much across the board. What's your overall thoughts? Where are you looking to bet this game if you had to pick side or total? What interests you, big man?
Yeah, this is a game that I think right away, and I remember I think I talked to you about how I right away thought this is a bit too many points for Notre Dame. You look at all season, this team has been kind of underrated, a bit undervalued. You look at Clemson, and I'm not going to come out and say that I think Clemson are not worthy of being in the Final Four. They're obviously worthy, and they're in there. But you have to ask yourself, is anyone really impressed at what they've done this year? I mean, seriously, they haven't really had a competitive game since week 2. And the one competitive game they had since then, Syracuse, they ended up winning by 4. Since then, Drew, they've outscored opponents 400 to 94. They just don't play in a lot of close games. And are they, again, we know they're going to be ready to go. We know they have a historic defensive line. We know that they're consistent moving the football. But this Notre Dame team is nothing to scoff at. They're ninth in the country in scoring defense, something that largely we don't really remember about Notre Dame. This is a damn good defense, and this is an offense that is built to throw the football, to really attack Clemson vertically, as our old friend Joe Lisi would say. Yeah, do I think Notre Dame can run the ball? No, not really. But I think Ian Book can gladly move the football down the field on a scoring defense that I don't love in the pass defense ranks. I think they have some underrated receivers. I think Notre Dame's getting kind of disrespected here. I'll take the 11 and a half points here and go with the Irish. I just think this is a 30 to 24. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down to the final possession. Notre Dame's been undervalued and really hasn't wavered all year. They've been terrific and taking care of everything in front of them. When was the last time Clemson was tested, Drew?
I mean, I think you bring up some great points. You brought up this Syracuse game. I guess you could make an argument the South Carolina game. I believe it was, 28-21 at halftime. So, I mean, they had a competitive ball game in that one against their rival South Carolina. By the way, big man, Jake Bentley put up 500-plus yards on this Clemson defense in that game?
And that's another concern. That's a great point by you. Not only did he put up a lot of yards, you look at back in week 2, Kellen Mond destroyed this team through the air. A lot of teams have. I mean, this is not just a 2 game thing. They have struggled at times to stop people through the air. And Ian Book has showed all year that he can move the football through the air. I just look, if this was 6 and I mean, seriously, Drew, if you look at this game and you're making this line, what would you put this number at?
Less than it is, for sure. I'm with you. I mean, if I'm betting this, I'm on the Irish.
8.5.
That sounds about right.
I
put it 11, in that dead zone.
Yeah, I mean, you can even get, you got to look around and shop around, but you can get, there's and again, it's 5 dimes, so some of these books are a little bit shaded, but I mean, Westgate right now out in Vegas, I mean, they're putting a 12 out there. So, yeah, I just think this is too many points. I think Notre Dame is being disrespected in this game, and as usual, people riding Clemson for good reason. They're a great football team, but I think they have some deficiencies that Notre Dame can exploit.
And you bring up some great points, big man. And in the mainstream media, everybody knows about Clemson's defense. The upfront, they get after the quarterback, absolutely. I think the Notre Dame side is very underrated. Their defensive front gets after it. Their defense is very good. And you got to keep in mind, Ian Book, he doesn't have many games under his belt. Neither does Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is a freshman. Yeah. Ian Book is at least a junior. A little bit more composed in that sense. And Trevor Lawrence, the ceiling is high. I mean, he's likely a next-level guy. Ian Book can move the ball, can use his feet as well. These are both teams that made mid-season quarterback changes, and for the better. And that includes the Notre Dame side, where I think that they will have success, especially against that South Carolina game like we just talked about. They put up major yards, and I could see Ian Book doing that, extending plays with his feet, throwing the ball downfield vertically, like you and Joe Lisi would say. And I think that they're going to have success. I think double digits is too many points. I think the Irish is the side. I think a lot of people in the betting markets are scared off because we remember that game against Alabama where they got blown out. This is a different Irish team. Brian Kelly has brought in a lot more talent. The second level guys, the special teams, are more talented than that national championship team of a few years ago, big man.
This, and I'm going to say it right now, Clemson's pass defense is about as fraudulent as it gets. Okay, 18th in the country. People will point to that and say, "Big man, they're 18th in the country against the pass." Let's further microscope, Drew, who the top 3 quarterbacks they played, and then the rest of their schedule. Okay, they started out the season against Furman. Who cares? Then they played Texas A&M, got shredded. Georgia Southern, they never throw the ball. Georgia Tech, they never throw the ball. Syracuse, they can throw the ball, put up 250. Wake, they just demolished them, so it never really mattered. And Wake had quarterback problems all year. It was only until late that they figured it out. NC State, okay. Finley, you held him in check. He threw a couple bad interceptions. Florida State can't move the ball through the air. Louisville, they were a dumpster fire all season. BC, they lean on the run game. Duke, they don't lean on throwing the ball. Then South Carolina shreds them. 2 quarterbacks they faced that were good. And we'll throw in Dungy as well. All of those teams threw for 250 or more. And in one case, Bentley, as you said, throws for 500 plus. This is a fraudulent pass defense. I think Ian Book can attack them.
I do too. I like the Irish. Are you going on record as far as betting the Irish in this game or any play on the total, big man?
Yeah, I like the Irish here. This is one that I'm probably going to send out here pretty soon. I like this one a lot. I think this is a fun game. I think it comes down to the probably final possession or even maybe the final 2. I could see 30-24, 30-27, something like that.
And as far as picking it outright, is that Clemson with 30 and Notre Dame with 24 or vice versa?
I wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame win. I think they're massively underrated. I really do. I think they can go in and win this game. I don't think it'd be out of the question. I'm not venturing to say they'll win, but I think they'll be hang around enough to be close.
And big man, last question for you on the Cotton Bowl here. Coaching advantage, who do you think has it and by how much?
That's a great question. I think Brian Kelly, gets a lot of shit from people and for good reason. Brian Kelly can be a bit of a kind of a schemy guy, but I don't know. I like Dabo. He's grown on me over the years. I like his story. I like who he is and what he's become. I think it's pretty even. I think both these coaches are good. For as much, I know they're kind of opposite personality-wise. I mean, Dabo's kind of that likable, good guy, and Notre Dame's kind of that, evil empire, and you don't like Brian Kelly for some of his schemes. But I think on the field, they're 2 pretty good coaches. Slightly Dabo, probably.
Okay. I'd say it's about even. And as far as the game goes for me, I think the total, I don't have much of an opinion as far as I think 55 is about the right number as far as the betting markets go. But I'm with you, big man. I like the 11.5, taking the 11.5 with the Irish. That's the side I will be on.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.